All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization and voice masculinization. You're here at the TransVR Academy for a voice workshop, both for voice feminization and for voice masculinization. You might also find resources for androgynization of the voice. So any of the things that we see today about the voice and on the voice will be usable for both genders or directions towards one or the other or anywhere in between. All right, so just as a heads up, first and foremost, be safe with your voice. Do not overstress it, and be sure to drink a lot of water. So if you know that you're going to set yourself up to have more of a dry voice, for example, if you typically drink, if you smoke, if you have maybe some medication that can make your voice more dry, then you want to make sure that you are trying to kind of build your practice session around avoiding these kind of things. Well, if you have medications, of course, understand that you must take it, so that's just fine. Typically, types of medication that can be drying to the vocal folds include Spiro or spironolactone. So I know some of you in here do take it. So be aware that this can be drying to your voice. And yeah, so basically a dry voice can cause damage more quickly, can be a little bit more harsh on your voice. Think about it, they're very small little flaps that vibrate in your throat, and if they are very dry, they're not going to enjoy being rubbed forcefully very dry like this. So that's something to take into account. Another thing here is do be aware of fatigue and tension. So if you feel like your voice is starting to get tired, if you feel like your voice is starting to kind of give up, especially at higher pitches, you can really hear it when your voice kind of starts to give up. If you are tired or if you sustain any fatigue in your voice, just stop, drink water, do some gentle warm-up exercises just to kind of help the blood flow, bring the nutrients and the water to the vocal folds, okay? And other than that, I think we're good to go. Just, I guess, be careful if you're doing harsh vocals. I mean, if you already are doing harsh vocals, you probably already know of the risks about that. But for what we're going to do, we're not going to go that harsh into like strong voices. So it's going to be all right. Okay, so let me just check. All right, we got a bit more time. All right, so what we're going to do here now is something that's very important with voice practice is that we want to get our voices warmed up. That's right. What would you do otherwise? I mean, if you're going to the gym or whatever, if you're just going for a run, you are going to want to warm up your legs, right? You don't want to just jump in there and do a high effort thing, just like destroying your muscles. No, you're only going to hurt yourself. The voice is no different. I mean, you don't flex your voice like you flex a muscle at the gym, right? But your voice is also an instrument, but it's also your body, so you have to warm it up gently. Some warm-ups that we do are called vocal folds exercises, or vocal function exercises, sorry. You might also have heard SOVTE for semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. I just kind of say softy to make it more short and simple. Just warm-ups or voice exercises are good to kind of qualify these things. And so because we want to warm up our voices, I propose that y'all do some warm-up. All right, let's do this together. So I want you to try and do like an O sound. You're going to try to do this pitch slide rather. Oh, and I'm going to tell you to do it on the count of 3. All right, so oh, 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now let's try and do a full slide of our range, still on an O. We do it gently. We don't want to, oh, we're going to try and do something more soft and gentle, right? We're warming up the voice. So whatever your lowest pitch is and whatever your highest pitch is, we're going to do, oh. Still still on an O sound. In 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. Some of these exercises can include a bit more occlusion. You might hear sometimes like Z sounds, Z, or J sounds, J, or V sounds. V. Let's try and do a V sound. I trust that you can hold a V sound. Let's try this. In 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome. Good job. You can try and keep doing these in the background, maybe when you have your mic muted, so you can do like your little warm up here and there. I'll just go on and keep talking. So these are like little exercises. The O sound, the lips are rounded. They're a bit in the way of the airflow, so it's kind of stabilizing the pressures below the vocal folds and above the vocal folds, thus creating an environment that's a little bit more gentle on your voice. And so sounds like Z or Ch or V can actually also reduce the airflow even more to actually add more resistance. And you might be asking me, well, Savvy, that's silly, right? Why would you want to add more pressure above the vocal folds? Why would I want to do this? Well, that is because if you think about it for a second, your vocal folds are, surviving sheer pressure from your lungs, right? You blow air, and when you close the vocal folds, you get a sound, right? But the air always comes from below. Well, unless you talk like this, by breathing in, but that's probably not what you want to do, unless you're interested in doing some robot voice. But that's something for a different time. No, you actually are creating more pressure above the vocal folds, so you can kind of counteract the pressure from your lungs. So you actually create an environment where it's easier and more gentle overall for your vocal folds to vibrate in. All right. Little things I should say is, of course, don't unmute yourself unless you're here up on stage, or towards the end of the session, there'll be a little time for questions that we can answer. Okay, now let's talk really quickly about what the voice is before we... Oh, my arm is shaky. There we go. Let's talk really quickly about what the voice is. I'm waiting for it to load a little bit. All right. So the voice is comprised of these 3 components. Well, at least that's how we can break it down in the PSF, the power source filter model. And so what you need to know is you have airflow from your lungs. That airflow goes up to your neck. And then in your neck, it will be meeting your larynx or your Adam's apple or your voice box. Different terms to signify the same thing. Within this voice box, you'll find vocal folds. They are going to vibrate, kind of like this, because of the air that comes from below, right? And so as they vibrate, they're going to create a source sound. Right? And as they create a source sound, that's going to create a sound that's then going to resonate in a resonance chamber, right? Hence why we call this resonance. I also refer to this as the vocal tract size. I mean, not only me, a lot of people refer to it as vocal tract size because we're talking about the effective size that's above the larynx, above the Adam's apple, and your mouth space and your nose space. So we can actually modify these by making the space smaller. We get a more feminine voice. By making the space smaller, we get a more masculine, more dark voice, right? Or you could say hollow, like a hollow sound, or a bright sound, depending on how big or how small we make the space. And that's all you need to know. We push air, it makes vocal folds vibrate. That sound then resonates within a space that's more small or more big. And that's all you need to know. Very simple. All right. Oh, there we go. So now we're done with the start session. Oh, right on time, actually. So what I will be doing now is I'm going to ask one of you to raise your hand or jump, or get maybe a little bit closer so that I already see people jumping and raising their hands, so that you can then come up on stage and practice your voice with me. I'm going to try and take 2 mask voices and 2 femme voices. I already saw you jumping first, Penguin. Do you know what you were in for? All right. Please come up, Penguin. Clap for Penguin. Woo! Yay! Okay. All right. Hello, Penguin. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. What is it that you come here for?
I'm not looking over there because it lags so hard for me if I look there. So I just
Right, I know. Just look here. There's a pretty mountain and some purple pink tree. Very pretty indeed. So what is it that you would like to work on? We got 10 minutes starting now. All right, let's go.
I'm doing feminization. Voice feminization.
Voice feminization. All right. Your mic might be cutting a little, so make sure that you don't have, I don't know if there's noise suppression, but like that there's no noise suppression and that your sensitivity is down enough so that we can really hear the sounds you make. I think it's pretty good right now. All right, so what parts of voice feminization do you want to work on? Do you want to work on making your femme voice sound how exactly?
I run into a lot of issues as far as, for one, I very shaky. 2, very inconsistent. So I'll seem like, okay, if I can't keep it at a certain kind of like,
okay.
If I can't seem in a certain state, it's like it goes automatically down.
Right. Right now you're doing a... Okay, yeah. So like right now you would say it didn't happen that you dropped down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And you seem to suggest there was a third thing you wanted to work on. So first one is voice is more shaky. Second one is your voice kind of eventually trails down if you don't pay attention to it. And no third ones, just these 2, right?
That I can think of right now.
All right, cool. So let's talk about these different things. Voice shaky, mom spaghetti. Right, okay. So shaky voices can happen for multiple different reasons, right? Typically, let me see if I can get some vocals here. All right, awesome. Can you see this on the board? If you like turn there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so here you can see the vocal folds, right? It's a drawing, so it's not as graphic. Content warning, too late. It's a drawing, don't worry. You can see the vocal folds here. On the left, they're completely open. On the right, they're completely closed. When we have shaky voices, it can be due to several reasons. Perhaps you are blowing too much air for your vocal folds to deal with. And if you do, then you might encounter a more breathy voice. And breathy voices, as I said before, I didn't say it yet, but very important, breathy voices are also very drying to the voice, just like the other things I listed at the start. But breathy voices can be a problem. But that's not exactly what I hear in your voice. I'm not sure. We're going to have to test a few things out. But if you have a breathy voice, you're going to tire your voice out very quickly because you dry the vocal folds. Because the vocal folds are not closed properly or not dealing properly with the amount of air that you're pushing through them, you kind of dry up the mucus that's on their surface, right? And so if you dry up that mucus, they cannot vibrate properly anymore. And so voice can be shaky. Another thing that can be taken into account with voice shakiness is, new slide, the vocal fold mass, right? So your vocal folds can engage more or less of their muscles. If they engage a lot of their muscles, you get a very buzzy sound. If you engage very little of these muscles, you get a very quiet sound. And ultimately, what we kind of want to do is be somewhere in the middle. Although for masculine voices, you'll tend to find a lot more vocal fold mass, and with more feminine voices, you'll tend to find a lot less vocal fold mass, right? But not too much. So make maybe another suggestion I have for you is explore vocal fold mass. Perhaps you are disengaging your vocal folds too much to the point where like it's shaky, because like if the vocals are too much out of the way, you still have to push air out to speak, right? So like if there's like not enough, then they can like be a little bit shaky. Like I guess I can present to you different types of shakiness and you tell me which one sounds most like yours. So like this kind of shakiness. This kind of shakiness. What else? This kind of shakiness. This one? All right, okay. So I think I landed right on it. That voice here is kind of a mixture of vocal folds that are very thin, so not thick like this, but thin. And as they are thin, you are maybe still no. You're still blowing air through them so much that they don't know how to deal with it. Even if their vocals are closed properly, you're pushing too much air. You are like probably on the verge of being breathy often, right? Breathy being that kind of sound, in case we don't have the same wording for this. And so then what you would want to do is perhaps there's two ways to go from there. Increase the vocal fold mass so you can deal with the amount of area you're pushing, effectively making your voice a little bit louder, but more stable, because now the vocal folds know how to deal with that amount of air. Or you can try and reduce the amount of air. And then you can speak like this in a bit more stable, more quiet way. Okay? So I guess that's up to you to tell me where you want to go. From what I heard from your voice, you already sound pretty quiet. And that's a good thing, I guess, if that's something you're going for. So I think that you might actually find a little bit more help in increasing the vocal fold mass, going a little bit louder perhaps, and kind of to like avoid being too shaky with your voice. Okay? So what you can do is you can try and explore this gradient. How do you explore going very light with your voice and going very heavy with your voice, right? Well, you can like think of different situations where you do this. If there's like a sigh of relief, like right? Then a sigh of relief is very thin vocal folds, very, very, very thin sounds, right? But also linked with breathiness. And the opposite, you can find heavy vocal folds, which can be triggered through effort. For example, if you're trying to lift something, or if you're trying to lift or do any physical effort that's very straining, then you can get like a really thick sound. The problem with that is that you get both a thick sound and closed vocal folds, right? So we just want like a thicker sound, not with vocal folds more closed specifically. But these are great ways to at least experiment with vocal fold mass or, heavy vocal fold mass or light vocal fold mass, okay? So without trying to do this, these are just like things to explore. It's kind of like the opposite of like the extreme of a lot of vocal fold mass and the extreme of very much not a lot of vocal fold mass. I think you're probably closer, if you're like on a gradient of super thick to super thin, I think you would be maybe somewhere like there, pretty close to very thin. And that's probably why you have an issue with having a voice that's very shaky, okay? So what I want you to do is, can you hold a pitch for me? Let's try and match my pitch. That's good. Very good. Let's try and do that a little bit louder. All right, very good. Okay. So did you notice already the second one is already much more stable? You might not think about it this way because you're like, well, if I go louder, don't I sound more masculine? But I can assure you that you don't, okay? So going a little bit louder, right? You don't have to go but you can go or and you have to know that there's like granularity in your voice. So other things I said here is it might sound counterintuitive because you are generally more breathy. So you're like, well, I'm losing air, but you're losing air because the vocal folds are not engaged enough in the vocal fold vibration process. And I think that by going louder, you would actually use more of that air that you're pushing, thus getting a more stable sound. Okay? So try to be a little bit louder, just slightly louder, not by a lot, to kind of encourage the vocal folds to go thicker. If that doesn't help you, you can try and get like a really thick sound. That's a thing I can do. Like, oh look, my disc is over here, over there. I can try and lift my disc. And I suck at it because I am not very strong, but I get the effort, the vocal mass engaged from that. And yeah, that gets me to trigger my heavy vocal folds, right? Yeah, you can try that out. So yeah, these are the options I have for you to look at and practice on your own. Now, to tackle the second issue, because we only have so much time left, let me see how much time we got left. Okay. Oh, we actually don't have the more time left. I'm sorry. Okay. But
Perfect timing.
perfect timing, exactly. But simply put, I guess the best way to kind of prevent your voice from going down is to be aware of both sound and body. If you feel like your body is tired, then maybe that's why it's dropping. Maybe you're just like not listening enough to your voice when it drops. Perhaps, it's kind of like, how do you say? It's kind of insidious, right? Like your voice slowly drops and eventually it's before you notice it that it's like too late and that you have gone too far low, right? So it's a matter of knowing and kind of like setting yourself like a soft limit. If you struggle with that, I recommend that you like try and record yourself, listen back to yourself, or like just be conscious of your voice, doing like activities where you talk but don't do anything else. You can like both speak and listen to your voice at the same time. Yeah, that's kind of what I have for you. Yeah, you're welcome, Penguin. Thank you for coming up stage, and good luck with your practice. Applause for Penguin.
Thank you.
I bumped my headset. Oh God. Okay. All right. Now, now I'll have a mask voice. Anyone want to
Masculinize their voices.
or something of the likes? I see no hand raised. Where are the boys at? Or the boy voicers? I saw someone jump. Night Bunny, did you want to come up? Yes? All right, come up stage. Come up. Applause for Night Bunny. No, I don't have a bias towards bunnies. That's not a thing at all. All right. Hello, Night Bunny. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi there. So, you wanted to masculinize your voice, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. All right. Few questions here. If that's not too private, are you considering or are you undergoing testosterone treatment?
I'm going to be starting it next year, but I'm not starting it this year.
All right. So the things to know is that you can already do quite a lot with your voice to masculinize it without taking testosterone. So we'll see what things we can do. I'll just get a timer started really quickly. We got 10 minutes. If I can find a 10-minute timer. There we go. Let's go. All right. So how do we masculinize the voice, right? I mean, how do we do it? You can turn to the board. Oh, it's white, so you can't really see it too well, but... Oh. Okay, my pointer to me not working. Okay, it's just that one for some reason. But as you can see, you can have a dark resonance or a bright resonance, or rather, you can have a testosterone-affected vocal tract or a testosterone non-affected vocal tract. And that really doesn't depend on your gender at birth sometimes. Sometimes you're AFAB and you have a lot of testosterone. Sometimes you're AMAB and you have little to none affect this area of your body. For some reason, our hormones are sometimes very selective of what regions of the body they interact with. But generally speaking, most AMAB people get testosterone, most AFAB people don't get testosterone changes at the level of the vocal tract. Now, Night Bunny, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to kind of mimic the effects of testosterone in your voice, right? That's how we can get your voice to be more masculine. So you have to understand first what 3 elements make up a testosterone affected voice, right? First element would be the pitch, right? So when testosterone affects your voice, the vocals become much longer, and by becoming longer, they can vibrate in slower wave patterns. By doing this, you can achieve like really, really low pitches, right? But the second thing that testosterone does to your voice is that it also makes your larynx drop. So, see, you heard the voice crack, so that's kind of funny when you mess around with things. It makes like your larynx drop. So,
Then you get like a really hollow, low-pitched sound, right? And the third thing that testosterone does is it makes your vocal folds thicker, and thus you get a little bit more vocal fold mass. So like then you can get like a very boomy, dark, masculine voice from that.
okay? And that's the 3 things that you want to try and practice. So let's see. Have you done any exercises before to masculinize your voice, or is that a first time for you?
Yeah, actually, my friend over there, Oreo, makes me come to these pretty often.
All right,
So-
cool. Are you being bullied? Blink twice if that's the case. No, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she bullies me into coming.
no good. Okay, so let's put this time to good use. Okay, so you already have done some resonance exercises, some vocal tract size exercises. You've already played around with whispers a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
All right, let's try and do this. I want you to give me a whisper. You might want to. You're on PC or VR right now?
PC.
Okay, so you might want to go to your settings. In there, find your audio settings, rather. And in there, you want to disable noise suppression and get the mic activation threshold to be as low as possible. Okay?
Okay.
Were you able to find that? Or are you lost in menus like
Okay,
me?
got it.
Because... All right, awesome. Can you give me a whisper? Say, for example, hello. Okay, I'm surprised it went through. Okay, so now try and take that hello sound and make that darker. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
As dark and easy as you can get it. Give it a try.
Hello. 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 Hello.
All right, awesome. Hello. Oh, oh, oh. Now keep that O sound and make that into an A sound. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? So your A right now sounds like this. So like that would kind of yield a voice like this. So that's already a pretty dark A. Very good. You might or might not have an Adam's apple as prominent if someone is affected by testosterone, but that doesn't mean that you don't have it. We are all humans, as far as I know, and we can like feel the Adam's apple. If you put like your fingers lightly, you might feel a little bump on your neck, and as you bring that whisper down, then you might feel something come down. If that's not the case, then that's all right. You can still use the sound as your guide, ultimately. But if you can feel it go down, that's an extra help that you can then solidify your awareness of resonance or of vocal tract size to the movement of your larynx, okay? Your Adam's apple. Okay, cool. So, now that we have this dark sound, we're going to try and slowly bridge it to a pitch. So first, I need you to give me your lowest, most comfortable pitch. So if you have to do like, and the low pitch is not super stable, that's not really going to help us here. So just go ahead and match my pitch here. right. Ah. Awesome. Okay, cool. From there, we can already get like a pretty good sound. Okay, so now try and think of that pitch. Do it again. Careful, you went a bit higher. A bit lower. Even lower yet. Okay, cool. So, you're getting to that pitch. Cool. And so now what we have is we have a pitch that's pretty low.
Which can be like really masculine.
Okay. It can be both really feminine,
And really masculine.
depending on how you change your resonance. So now let's try and get back to the dark whisper. And from there, we're going to try and bridge from that dark whisper into a dark breathy sound. Into a dark full sound. Okay? So let's try this. Okay, so you brought the pitch up again. All right, so first off, I need to hear the whispers first. So first, give me the dark whisper. If you need to, you can scale back down from the high point. Hello, hello, hello. Give that a try.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay. Okay, you want to hold the whisper for a little bit. Okay? Careful, you're just using your voice here. I want to hear just like you did before for the hellos. Okay, say hello again. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Just a complete whisper. Like, you have to be super quiet. They can hear us.
Hello.
Even quieter.
Hello.
Quieter. Quieter. I don't want to hear the just the air of it.
Hello.
You know, it's the same sound you make when you like drink water. And then at the end you have the gasp of air, you know? Like, Reminder, drink water. It's like, yeah, if you drink water and it's like, right? It's that sound I want to hear. You did it right at the start. Try it again.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so we're a bit struggling here to use whispers, so it's fine. We'll just use a different method. Whispers is not the only way to explore resonance here, so we can do something maybe different. Oh, no. Okay. Okay, cool. So another method that you might want to explore is perhaps a sighing method, right? So if you're like really tired, you're gonna kind of do like a sigh, like and that can get your larynx to drop very low, right?
And like that's the sound. It can be very masculine. And then it can be built upon if you like drop the pitch a little bit and then work towards that, right?
So that's a thing that you can try and use to make your voice a bit darker again. But try practicing the whispers a little bit more, trying to dissociate a full sound from a breathy sound from a whispered sound. Since all these three sounds have very different qualities. When I heard you do the whispers, a lot of times your vocal folds were in the way and engaging themselves. So I heard like a lot of breathy sounds. And unfortunately, that means that you couldn't really hear resonance too well to kind of like help yourself hear when you're going from from a really bright whisper to a really dark whisper, right? So yeah. If anything, this is getting recorded, so you can go back to the video, scroll back to, I think it would be minute 30 something, right? And you can listen back to it. And at the very start, when you did the hello, 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 you could hear those whispers, okay? So you can try and see that to remember what the whispers is. And if you forget any of the things we talked about, you can always go look at that. So yeah, sighs are also a way to explore this. You can try and sigh to kind of like do this on like a vocalized method and get like a darker sound. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Try getting your sound to be darker. Bring your pitch down like we did before. Right? And try to combine those two to get like a more masculine sound. Okay? Sounds good? All right. Thank you, Night Bunny, for coming up stage. Thank you, thank you. All right. Now I will have a femme voice. Is there a femme voice wondering there? People on the right side don't want to do no voice things. Someone here, Juke Riser. I've never seen you before. Come on stage. All right, applause for Juke Rise. Maybe it's Juke Riser. I'm not sure. Hello. It's Juke Rise. Hello. All right. Let us get started. 10 minutes from now. Cool. All right. So, hey, so you want to feminize your voice. What is it about your voice that you would like to feminize? It's already very feminine sounding.
Thank you. I was just like trying to like make sure that I can like keep the voice and I also kind of have another voice that sounds kind of like this. Oh, it's actually not too different now. What? Well, just trying to make sure that it's like as feminine as possible, so that I can like, of course, be comfortable with it and stuff.
All right. So your issue is that you struggle to sustain it, or is it that you feel like it doesn't sound natural to you, or like? Okay. One of the first things I hear in your voice is that your pitch doesn't change a whole lot. It's like, all right, so like I hear like a very bright sound. I hear like a little bit of creak in there. I also hear like a really high pitch, but I don't hear like a lot of pitch variation, you know? And so I think that what we could do is try and explore how we can change the intonation a little bit to make the voice a little bit more natural sounding and maybe a little bit easier to sustain as well. So let's see. We have a few sentences up here. Hello, good morning. How are you? Right, for example. I know, crazy sentence. You could have never guessed that. And yeah, so I'll try and have you say some of these sentences and see how you say them normally. So can you go ahead and read the first 3 sentences, please?
Hello, good morning. How are you? Oh, I think like part of the problem is that I'm like worried that like whenever I vary pitch, it like might alter all the other parts of the voice in the process. So trying to make sure I can like alter pitch independently.
So would you say that if you would say that if you change the pitch, your voice has like a tendency to drop in resonance, perhaps?
Yeah.
Or is that what you're trying to say? Like if you like take your voice from here and then like you go like low, like your pitch kind of tracks down with your resonance in a way. Is that the problem you're dealing with?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So then if that's the issue, then we can try and practicing brightening lower pitches, right? Because if lower pitches is the bane of your resonance, then practicing making the lower pitches a little bit more bright can help you, because then if you travel down from a high pitch down to a very low pitch and you still sustain like a really bright sound, then you might not be as scared to change your pitch around, and that will give you in general more stability. Okay, so let's see. What's a low pitch? Can you try and Can you read the sentence, I think I have a craving for pickles, and you let yourself drop in pitch. Kind of like this. I think I have a craving for pickles. Try that
I
out.
think I have a craving for pickles.
I think I have a craving for pickles. Cool. Okay, so for pickles, what's the pitch here? Oh, that's G3. So you're still very, very high. So let's see if we can go a little bit lower. Please try and match my pitch here. Wait. Try and match my pitch.
Uh,
Okay, good. Let's go yet even lower. Did you not let yourself allow it to go down, or is it because you struggle to do that pitch in the first place?
I think it's just that I'm like trying to prevent myself from letting it go down. Or just not letting it go down.
Okay. So I guess one of the questions I have then is, what bothers you about it? Like, do you want to achieve a higher pitch, yet even higher femme voice? Or are you alright with going to like lower pitches? Because I don't exactly know where you're trying to go from there. Because you're certainly lacking like a lot of low pitches that you could be using for femme voice.
Oh, yeah.
But if your ultimate objective is to be really high up there, then, I don't want to prevent you from like going to like your really high pitched voice. Perhaps that's what you want.
I think my goal might be to get like a higher pitch voice. I think that's the goal, but I feel like I might also be best to try practicing the lower pitch ones, so.
Okay, so like you say that's what you want, just like to get a higher or like lower pitch. You said mostly higher pitch. Okay, cool. So if you say the first sentence, hello, good morning, how are you? Try it again.
Hello, good morning, how are you?
Okay, hello, good morning, how are you? Let's try and make that raise up in pitch a little bit more. Let's try and allow us to go really high. I'm going to ask you to slide on the O of hello, kind of like this. Hello? Give that a try.
Hello?
Go very slow. Hello?
Hello? Oh, there.
Very good, very good. And then from the high pitch again. Oh, hello.
Hello.
All right, very good. Hello. Hello. Not a full thing.
Hello.
Okay, so what you notice here is that there's a little bit of a voice crack, right? Hello. Well, wait. Hello. Okay, so that could be due to maybe a little bit of an issue with the vocal fold mass. So I was talking about the vocal fold mass before, right? For different reasons, the vocal fold mass can be a little bit of an issue there. What you had there is a voice crack, right? Between your higher pitch range, which we refer to as M2 or falsetto, and between your normal speaking range, or what we refer to as M1, right? So your M1 range, can go from really low to really high, and your M2 range, can also go quite low, but it's going to eventually get stuck at a certain point. What you notice the most about these two ranges is that one has a tendency to be more full, more heavy, to have a little bit more vocal fold mass engaged, right? It's a little bit of a thicker sound, right? But if I were to say the same sentence in these two different modes, let's say, I forgot to take my hormones, and then say, I forgot to take my hormones. Fundamentally, the pitch is exactly exactly the same in both sentences. I forgot to take my hormones. See? And so that's kind of that change of texture which causes your voice to break when you do hello, right? And so to avoid that break, hello, right? What I want to do is let's try and slowly first. We try and change the vocal fold mass to be a little bit more light as we go to a higher pitch, and change it back to a more thicker sound when we go to lower pitches. So effectively, when you go higher, oh, if you don't let the mass go, and you heard it, it was like very buzzy, right? Oh, right? But if I made that lighter, oh, the voice crack disappears, right? And the same thing goes on the way down. If you stay too light as you go down from a high pitch, oh, then you're going to have that issue. But if you increase the mass, oh, then the voice crack doesn't happen. Okay? So, and I wasn't even the vocal mass slide there. So we can try and do a gradient from heavy to light. So I'm going to ask you and try, because now we have a little bit more time to talk about this, try and hold a light sound. Just give me like the quietest, gentlest sound you can make. Like, oh no, I said we had the time. Oh no, okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, that was maybe too breathy. That was too much air. Try to push less air from your lungs, right? Instead of doing try and do more of the okay? Right? So then, okay, so things to practice here is to get a more light sound, it's easier to get it if you push less air, right? Because if you push too much air, then you're going to be breathy, and that's going to cause your voice to be dry and to lose of that quality that you wanted, right? So you can try and practice with like different sighs, right? Either you sigh like all of the air in my lungs, or much more quiet and less, right? A lot less air, right? And so with that very, very small amount of air that you push, you can get a super quiet sound. Very good. And now to the opposite of that, we'll have a heavier sound. Try that. Okay. Okay, good. So you had like very light and very heavy. Now what you want to do, and I'm sorry we don't have the time for this because I have to be fair on time for everyone, but what you want to do with this is basically as you go high in pitch, you want to go towards the lighter sound. So if you're like very full, like see how I reduced the mass? And if I didn't, it would sound like this. Right, it would sound very buzzy, it would sound very loud. So you can try and listen for the loudness changes to hear that change, okay? And on the way down, increase the mass before it's too late so that you don't fall into the voice crack, okay? And with that, you can explore using higher pitches that usually are above your range without the fear of voice cracking with enough practice. All right?
Hey.
All right, that's all the advice I got for you. All right, good job for the vocal math, by the way. All right, so thank you for coming off stage. You're welcome. Round of applause for Juke Rise. Woo. Okay. So. Oh God. Okay. So I'm gonna have one more person, but it's gonna be only 5 minutes. I'm afraid I am late on time. That's totally my bad. Anyone wants to practice mask voice in here? In the audience? Anyone? Jump if you do want to practice mask voice. I hear, I see nothing. I am blinded by...
There is one person, over there, a Skillick.
Yes?
I saw them jumping.
Oh, yeah, Scary, come up stage. Yay!
I'm having some trouble with my everything, so my limbs might
no.
might start floating away in all directions.
Not
Just a fair
everything. Oh, no.
warning.
Yes.
Anyways,
That's all right. Come on,
hi,
come
I'm
on.
back.
Anyways, hi, welcome back. All right,
Still
awesome.
scary.
No, still scary. There's a lot of people, I know. It's but you know, they're nice. They've been pretty nice. So yeah, what did you want to work on today? Have you been able to work on some of the things we talked about last time? Well, last time was like
A little bit,
4
yeah.
weeks ago.
I've been trying to, get some more fullness, more power into the voice. I don't
Yeah?
know if much happened in regards of it, but I'm less sick, so that might
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, definitely. Sickness does not help a voice. You're right. So yeah. Then in that case, you've been trying to get like more vocal folds mass, right? A heavy sound over there. Yeah, heavy. Super heavy, low pitches, dark resonance. Awesome, cool. All right. So, would you say that? Okay, what did we work on today then? Let's go back to the sentences that I had before. All right, cool. Can you read that first sentence in the most
Mask voice that you can do.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that mad brat
Oh
sat on
boy.
that flat mat.
All right.
Okay, so that mad brat sat on that flat mat. Alright, awesome. So, what pitch are we at? I actually don't know.
So, wait.
Probably too high.
No, it's not high at all, actually.
That mad brat.
It's like, what pitch is that?
That mad brat. It's like a G3.
Let's actually see if we can go a little bit lower than that. Okay, match my pitch.
Uh,
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 uh, my hand's starting.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We don't need the hand. Nice. Very good. Nice. Okay, let's get a bit more closure with that sound. Was a bit breathy. Let's try and do this. Okay, nice.
Okay.
It's okay. And now let's try to go a bit more loud. Give it a try. Nice. Okay. And with that, let's try and read.
That mad brat.
That mad brat.
Okay, we've got a little bit breathy again, so let's go a little bit more loud here.
That mad brat. That mad brat.
Remember,
The power, the boys.
yeah,
That mad brat.
let's go.
That mad brat.
Nice. Okay,
That mad brat.
okay. Let's try and say the sentence a bit more normally.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Nice. Okay, cool. Okay, so we still get a little bit of that yawning quality.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
So we need to work a little bit on the thickness of the sound. Remember, the thickness. Yeah, the thickness. Okay? So I want you to remember how you practiced the buzziness, not the buzziness, the vocal fold mass increase, right? Remember, whatever was pushing your desk or whatever, doing push-ups and being like, this is my life as a shonen, I need to you know? All right,
Yeah,
try and do
yeah.
this. Okay, match my pitch here. All right, let's go from really quiet. Okay, and let's go louder, like this. Your turn. No!
Cool.
Okay, nice. Okay, you still got it. You still got it. Ah, the alarm is so loud. Okay, cool. I have to find a different alarm. But yeah, okay, so you still got it. Like so. Okay, now let's keep that sound. Okay, and let's take down to a lower pitch. Awesome. And now good. Let's say, that mad brat.
That mad brat. It's not quite there.
Okay. It's a bit thicker. It's a bit thicker, but yeah, I know we got less time today. I'm sorry. But you still got the vocal full mass, and now just like keep it up. Adapt the vocal full mass to just keep the sound a bit longer. Maybe you don't want to do a break between the and then reset and that mad brat. You might just lose it. Instead, try to the brat sat on that flat mat. Kind of like try and practice that sound. Okay. So these are like some directions for you to practice on. And yeah, so let's say you still got the mass in. Just try and incorporate it a little bit more to your voice. And yeah, you're doing great, Scarrick.
Thank you. Okay, I'm just gonna...
You're welcome. Thank you for coming up stage. Sorry. Bye. Applause for Scarrick. Woo! All right. So, is it Alastair or Shay? Who has the questions for me? I know some people in the chat.
No, we actually don't have any questions today in Discord or Twitch.
No questions. I answered all of the questions. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, any questions from the people in here? Anything you want to learn about your voice? Okay, clever name. What clever question do you got for me?
So one question that I've had in regards to my voice is, one thing that I've noticed is at times it does feel like when I'm talking at higher pitches, or I at least try to focus more on my fem voice, at times, as I'm doing it for a bit, it starts to crack here and there. Even if I try to keep it at a quieter voice like this, but when I do it quieter, it's fine like this. But when I start to try to project it a bit, that's when it starts to sound more like crackly, as almost like I'm struggling to keep it up. Is there any way I could try to improve on that?
Well, several things here that I noted is you said my voice crackles. Like, are you talking like about like that kind of crackle, or like is it like a crackle when you like go between M2 and M1, like like?
I would say
I guess
like
more
that,
like the former one.
Mainly when I'm talking a bit pitch, sometimes like that, it will just decide to.
Okay, yeah, it's like a voice crack. Okay, so it's very akin to oh god, where is she? It wasn't Penguin, was it? No, was Juke Rise? Yes. With Juke Rise, we practiced because we had a similar issue here. So pretty much most of the things that we said there would apply. If the voice crack happens, it's most likely because the mass is not being adapted when you go from a low pitch to a high pitch, right? Low pitches have a tendency to have more vocal fold mass, whereas high pitches have a tendency to be much more light and use much less vocal fold mass, right? Oh, here, another cool slide here. So as you can see, this one might take a bit more time to load. But you can see the vocal folds can be really thick or really thin. And so what's happening is that if you are not properly making the vocal folds vibrate in a more thinner motion, eventually when you're going to go up, it's going to break into it, right? So that's something you want to be careful about. So yeah, adapt your voice to go from heavier to lighter, as go high in pitch, and from lighter down to heavier to avoid the voice cracks from happening. Okay, so this can be a little bit of practice. I know we tried this on like, hello, how are you, right? Like these little slides on certain words can be a little bit of practice. It does sound very cartoonish, like a little bit of a Disney princess, like, hello, how are you, my beautiful prince or princess? But most of us would not speak like that with such an amplitude and pitch. But it's good to like practice at least going up and down in pitch, and the wider the range, the easier it might be, depending on how wide the range you can achieve easily. The wider the range, the easier it might be for you to kind of like try and find when to increase the mass or decrease the mass, whether you go up or down in pitch. Okay?
Perfect.
Alrighty.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I'll answer one more question and then we'll be done with today's session. I don't see no hands raised. Maybe if you're really small. Oh, I see someone here. Pearly White, do you have a question for me?
Is it okay to practice if your neck is sore?
If your neck is sore, how do you mean?
I got COVID and
Like
my neck is like... I used to have COVID and my
I
neck is still sore.
personally would say I would advise against, practicing with your voice being sore during COVID. I would completely go on voice rest if I were you, but I also understand that it might not be an alternative. You still need to talk here and there, so the best advice I can give you is use your voice sparingly, use it gently. Don't push your voice, because the more you push your voice, the more effort you're going to do on it. And chances are with COVID, your voice might be very dry and very inflamed, right? So just be sure that you drink a lot of water. You can try a few exercises here and there, but if you feel like your voice starts to hurt, then no, do avoid practicing. What you can do, however, is as your voice recovers, you can do these gentle softies, these gentle warm-up like type exercises, like as these can be very easy on your voice, but even if these hurt, then try not to practice. Do rest your voice, okay, please. And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
I will. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please get well. All right, so thank you everyone for showing up today to this class of mine. My name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization and masculinization. I am on Discord with the exact same name as the one that's above me. There's my Discord server here, discord.gg/small_dbwr_big_QMV. And my server is Scientifically Augmented Voice, where you can learn how to feminize,
Masculinize your voice.
and anything in between. So yeah, you can learn many fun things, even singing or human beatboxing with sounds such as... So if you want to learn any of that, hit me up in Discord. I teach lessons. So yeah, thank you again. And yeah, applause for all of you for coming up today. Thank you, thank you.